Hello students, good morning all of you. So as you know, we are studying about the chapter alternating current, and till now we have completed so many concepts in this chapter. So at the last we have remained with 2 to 3 important concepts like LC oscillations is there, and electrical resonance is there. Related to electrical resonance, Q factor is there, and at the last we have to study about the important and interesting devices called as transformers. So with that our chapter finishes. So today we are going to discuss about some interesting topics like LC oscillations and electrical resonance. So students, as you know, till now in this chapter we have studied about the meaning of alternating current. Every time I am revising, just I want you to remind all the things once. Before starting this class, I want all of you to revise about those things which we have discussed in the previous classes. Like from the first class, whatever the things we have told, if you are perfect in that, or if you are better in that, it's easier for you for the upcoming classes. Yes, so we have studied about the meaning and the advantages disadvantages of AC voltage, and in the last online class I have revised all the things once again, means in the way to help you for the test also and to revise the chapter once also. I have revised all the things we have started in this alternating current. Okay, so we have started with the definition of alternating current, its advantages, disadvantages, the properties, the important characteristics of the alternating current, and after that we have studied about, we have supplied the alternating source, we have applied the alternating source to three important components like capacitor, inductor and resistor. Okay, after that we have studied about some reactances like inductive and capacitive reactances, and after that the power of the capacitor, the charging and discharging of the capacitor, all those things we studied, and after that the very important LCR circuit we have studied. Okay, means in a single circuit we have joined the inductor also, the the resistor, the inductor and the capacitor. We have joined all of them in a single circuit in a series manner, and so we formed a equation for the electrical impedance. Yes or no? You have found the equation for the impedance Z, isn't it? So moving on, today we are going to study about LC oscillations. Okay, as I told you LC, you might already thought LC is nothing but what? Inductance and capacitance. Means in this oscillations we have the inductor and capacitor you have studied. You may have imagined that LC is nothing but inductor and capacitor. So in this oscillations we only have inductance and capacitor, not resistor. That you have understood. So now what exactly the LC oscillations are means. Okay, so here we have an capacitor, and we have an inductor. So this inductor is having the impedance L and this capacitor is having the capacitance C. Okay, so when in these two electrical components, electrical elements, current elements I can say, when in these two current elements the energy exchanges between these two elements, when energy exchanges, energy between this capacitor which stores the electrical energy or which stores the charges, and this inductor which stores the magnetic energy. This stores the electrical energy, this stores the magnetic energy. When between these two current elements when there is a exchange of energy takes place. When there is exchange of energy takes place, at that time oscillations are produced. Okay, so such oscillations are called as what? LC oscillations. Okay, means we can define the LC oscillations as these are the electrical oscillations. These are the electrical oscillations produced by the exchange of energy between a capacitor and an inductor are called as what? LC oscillations. Understood? LC oscillations are the electrical oscillations produced by the exchange of energy between a capacitor and a inductor are called as LC oscillations. Okay, so how we can produce LC oscillations? Now you have understood that there is one capacitor and there is one inductor. Between these two there is energy exchange taking place. Means capacitor is giving energy to inductor is giving energy to capacitor, like that. Exchange is taking place. Means in our home, your mom will be giving some things, some food prepared in your home to the neighbor ones, and they are giving it to you. Means there is a exchange is taking place. There is a exchange takes place, na? Like that. Here energy is given by the capacitor to the inductor, and also in turn inductor also gives the energy to the capacitor. So in this process of exchange of energy, whatever the oscillations are produced, they are called as LC oscillations. The electrical oscillations produced by the exchange of energy between a capacitor and inductor are called as what? LC oscillations. Okay, so in how to produce these LC oscillations, where these LC oscillations are produced. So for that I'll consider a circuit. Which circuit? In that circuit, which element should be there? Inductor should be there and a capacitor should be there. So let get a circuit of kind. See here, we are getting a circuit of this kind. So this is one capacitor of capacitance C, and this is one inductor of inductance L. Okay, so as you know, these are the two plates of the capacitor. So here we have positively charged and negatively charged. In the charging and discharging, we have studied about this positive negative in detail. Okay, so in this circuit we will produce electrical oscillation, LC oscillation. So what about this circuit? This is an electrical circuit. Which containing an inductor and a capacitor, and they are connected in parallel. Yes or no? This is one electrical circuit where we are having one inductor of the inductance L and capacitor of the capacitance C connected in parallel. So such circuit is called as what? Tank circuit. Such circuit is called as what? Tank circuit. What is tank circuit? An electrical circuit containing a capacitor of capacitance C and an inductor of inductance L connected in parallel is called as what? Tank circuit. So this circuit will give us the LC oscillations. This circuit will produce the LC oscillations. So how? Now you have understood where these oscillations are producing. Now how the oscillations are produced in this tank circuit. Okay, so for that we have a complete process. So let's start that. Okay, so now in this LC circuit or in this tank circuit, first you consider that this capacitor is fully charged. Fully charged means what? In the capacitor is completely filled of the charges. All the charges are filled in this capacitor. Means this capacitor is fully charged. So as you know, you have studied in the electrostatics, in the plates of the capacitor, between the plates of the capacitor there will be a potential difference. And because of that potential difference, energy is stored in the electric field of the capacitor. Okay, so in the electrostatic you have studied this capacitor will be having some potential difference. This will be having some stored energy. The electric field E of the capacitor, electric field E, potential V, all the things you have studied in the electrostatics. Okay, so if this capacitor is fully charged, here we are having a potential difference between the two plates, and hence we are having the energy in the electric field of the capacitor. The energy is stored in the electric field of the capacitor. How electric field? You already know. If a charge plus or minus plus Q is there, it will produce some electric field around it. Means the field which is influenced by this positive charge is this field only is nothing but E. You have studied this in the electrostatics. So here in this capacitor we are having so much number of the charges. Yes or no? So all those charges have formed a electrical field. Electrical field that may be large, but I am telling that charges will have produced the electric field around them. So whatever the energy is stored in this capacitor, that energy is stored in this electric field. Okay, so now what about this inductor? Now this in this inductor we don't have any current because we don't have any source here. So this inductor, in that we don't have any current. But as you know, in the inductor the energy means what is the work of this inductor means according to the law of electromagnetic induction. According to the law of electromagnetic induction, you know that the inductor will oppose the current. The inductor will oppose the current, and around this inductor we will be having a magnetic field. Around this inductor we will be having this magnetic field according to the Faraday's law. Faraday's law means in one current carrying conductor the magnetic flux changes. So that around this inductor we are having one magnetic field, and around this capacitor we are having one electric field. Okay, so this is about the things. Okay, so now consider, so this I will for our process I will consider this as the first step. What is the first step? Now this capacitor starts discharging. This capacitor starts to discharge. Discharge means what? The number of charges in this capacitor are decreasing. Now this initially the capacitor is fully filled. Now the number of charges are decreasing. Yes or no? Number of charges are decreasing. Hence whatever the number of charges are decreasing from this capacitor, whatever this capacitor is discharging, that current starts flowing through the inductor. Here charges are decreasing means charges are nothing but what? Electron. They are carrying the current. Charges are nothing but they are carrying the current. Moving electrons will form a current. You know it already. So when the charges are getting discharged from this capacitor, they are flowing as a current in this inductor. So in this inductor, as a result, in this inductor the current starts flowing. So when the current starts flowing in this inductor, there will be the formation of magnetic field. Understood? When there is no current, there is no magnetic field. So when this current starts flowing in this inductor, magnetic field around the inductor is formed. Understood? So what's happening here means initially the capacitor is completely filled, so around that electrical field was there. So the energy was filled in the electrical field. Energy was stored in the electrical field. So that energy we can call it as electrical energy, because energy was stored in the electrical field. So that is electrical energy. But now when the capacitor starts discharging, the whole energy comes to here. Understood? So whatever the energy is there, that's stored in the magnetic field. So that's stored in the magnetic field. So that we can call it as the magnetic energy. So now can we conclude that the electrical energy is completely converted into magnetic energy? Yes, understood na? So if you want to get it understood much, go back. This is already a video. You have the data. Go back and listen to it carefully, because still we have 4 steps. Okay, so whatever the things happened in this circuit, I told you, just go back, just swipe it back, and you can listen to it once again, but get clear with the things. So this is the first step, where the charges in this capacitor were completely transformed to the inductor, and hence the energy stored in the electrical field is converted to energy stored in the magnetic field. In other words, we can say that whatever the electrical energy was there here in the capacitor, that completely converted to magnetic energy. So this is the first process where electrical energy is converted to magnetic energy. Means energy is exchanged from this electric field to magnetic field. This is the first step. Okay. So now, second step. So what happens here? Here now, in the first step, in the inductor, the energy was maximum. In the inductor, energy was maximum. So now, when the capacitor discharged, in the here capacitor discharged. Now in the second process, capacitor again starts to charge itself. As you have studied earlier in the previous classes only, I told you about charging and discharging of the capacitor. So here if it is discharged, here it starts recharging. It starts getting charged. So what happens at that time means, consider the same circuit. Same circuit I am considering. This is C and this is L. So this now here initially, now here the energy is maximum. Here the energy is what? Maximum, because already from here to here energy came, and here we are having the maximum energy, and the capacitor starts to charge itself. The capacitor starts to charge itself in the opposite direction. So what happens now? Energy stored in this inductor, whatever the energy stored in this magnetic field, is converted to here. Understood? So if here in the first process the discharging takes place in this direction, if discharging takes place in this direction, now in this process the charging takes place in this direction. Means whatever the energy is there na, that energy starts moving towards the capacitor, so that capacitor can get it recharge itself. Okay, so energy is converted from this inductor to the capacitor. And so here energy from this inductor is going to the capacitor by this direction. Okay, so how means, if initially it came like this, now it is going like this. Means in like this energy is going from this inductor, and again the magnetic energy is converted into electrical energy. Understood? So now again what happens? So if this is charged, now this is charged means what? The charges are accumulated in the capacitor. Okay, so here the capacitor get charged, but how it get charged? In the opposite direction. So initially here we had plus minus like this. They will change because the capacitor had charged itself in the opposite direction. So here we have negative, now here we have positive. Okay, so this is where the magnetic energy is completely converted to electrical energy. Now again the capacitor starts discharging. Again the capacitor starts discharging, and all the energy from the capacitor goes back to the inductor. Electrical energy to magnetic energy. So again here the energy becomes maximum. In the inductor the energy becomes maximum. This was the third process. So what happens in the fourth process? Fourth process again, So here again from C to L, energies, charges are moving. Capacitor is starting discharged, and hence the energy is converted from electrical energy to magnetic energy. Energy from capacitor to inductor. Now again capacitor wants to recharge itself. So in which direction it takes place now? Here energy is maximum. So from here to here again energy is being exchanged. Again energy is being exchanged. So what happens to the circuit now? How the circuit will change now? See. Again the circuit will change like this. So here we had minus plus like this. The minus side is at the negative side is at the left and positive side is at the right. So again it discharged, again it charged. So what happens? Positive at right side and negative at left side. So this is the last step of the process of the formation of LC oscillations. Okay, so in the whole process what happened? So here from capacitor to inductor, energy transformed, electric energy converted to magnetic energy. Again here, so here the energy becomes maximum. So this again capacitor wants to recharge itself. That's why the amount of energy in this inductor starts moving towards the capacitor in order to charge the capacitor. Now as the capacitor got charged, again it wants to discharge itself. So again the charges are moving from C to L, and the energy transformation from electrical energy to magnetic energy. Now again the process repeats, and the C wants to charge itself. So from this maximum point of energy, the charges or the energy is transformed to the capacitor, and capacitor again charges as positive negative as it is initial. So this last step and first step are same. Means what? The process takes place. It started from A, and again it goes and again it came back to the A. Like this the whole cycle takes place here in this 5 steps. So in this whole process there is exchange of electrical energy and magnetic energy. There is always exchange of electrical energy and magnetic energy took place. So this exchange of energy from electrical form to magnetic form, this exchange of energy from electric form means electric, it was a type, it was in the form of electric energy. Here it is in the form of magnetic energy. Here it is in the form of magnetic energy. Here it is in the form of electrical energy. So electric form to magnetic form, the energy exchange takes place. So hence this produces the oscillations called as LC oscillations. This process of exchange of energy from electrical form to magnetical form produces the oscillations which are called as which are called as LC oscillations. Understood? So this is all about the LC oscillations. Okay. So now we can show it, this whole process we can show it by using a graph. By using a graph I wish to show that to you. See here. So whatever the charge and current are changing. So here the charge is also changing and the current is also changing. So change in current is producing what? Magnetic energy. As magnetic field, when the current changes then only magnetic field is produced, and the change in charge is producing what? Change in charge is producing what? Current. Current is nothing but electrical energy. So this change of current and change of charge I wish to show with respect to a graph with respect to the time. Okay, so now see here I am showing you the graph where we can study the variation of the charge and the and the current. Okay, so now starts from here like this. So this is the curve which shows the exchange of charge. Sorry, you can't see it. So this is the curve which shows the change in charge. Okay, so now we'll show the change in current. We'll show the change in current like this. Okay, so here we'll draw some lines to show which is maximum and which is not maximum, like that. Okay, so this lines will show us which curve is maximum and which curve is at its minimum. These lines we are having to show that. Okay, so here you see both the current. So this dotted line will shows us what? Current. This dotted line will show us the current, and the this dotted line will show us the change in current, the graph of current, and this solid line shows us the graph of charge. Okay, so see here the current is maximum. The current is maximum. So here I will show maximum. Maximum means current is maximum, means change in current is nothing but what? Magnetic field. So if the current is maximum means there is a maximum magnetic energy. Okay, so see here what happening here in the reverse curve, but the charge is maximum. Na, current is at the 0 point, but the charge is maximum. Charge is at the peak. So here UE maximum means change in current is nothing but change in charge is nothing but what? Electrical energy. So here the magnetic current is maximum, hence the magnetic energy is maximum. So here charge is maximum, hence the electrical energy is maximum. Don't get confused with the things. The current is maximum, hence the magnetic energy is maximum. is maximum. Here the current is, sorry, me only getting confused. Okay, now once again. So in this curve here at this point the current is maximum. Current is at the peak and the charge is at the 0. So hence the current is at the peak, the magnetic energy is maximum. So here in this point, at this point the charge is maximum. The change in charge is maximum. The change in charge is at its peak and the current is at 0. Hence the charge is at the peak, the electrical energy is maximum. Okay, so now come again to the next thing. So what is maximum here? Try to think what is maximum here. Current is maximum. Current is maximum means is maximum. Charge is 0. Yes. So again what's happening here? Charge is maximum and current is minimum. Charge is maximum means electrical energy is maximum. So this is the graphical representation of the change in current and change in charge while producing the LC oscillations. Okay, so now we have to study an important thing about LC oscillations. So Now we are studying about the frequency of LC oscillations. What will be the frequency of LC oscillations? You already know about this term, what the frequency means. While explaining about the AC oscillations, I told you, means when the AC oscillations are moving like this, the number of oscillations in 1 second, the number of oscillations in 1 second is called as frequency, and the time taken to complete one full oscillation is called as the period. Okay, that all things we have studied. So number of oscillations in 1 second of LC oscillation is what we have to study. Okay, so for that again we have to consider the tank circuit. Tank circuit means what? One capacitor is there and one inductor is there, positive, negative, CL. Okay, so in this circuit we are having one capacitor and one inductor. Now consider that this capacitor is charged, means the all the charges are stored in this capacitor, and in this inductor the current I is flowing. Okay, so let Q be the number of charges in the capacitor, and I be the current of the capacitor, and C is the capacitance of the capacitor, and L is the inductance of the inductor. So in this situation we can write a relation Q by C equal to L into di by dt. This is related to this tank circuit. Whatever the situation is there in this, according to that I am writing. Okay, so now this di by dt, can I change this di by dt? Because you already know that the current I is nothing but rate of change of charge with respect to time. Yes, so here we are having I, so di by dt is there. Okay, so can I write that as d by dt of dq by dt? Because d by dt is there already, so this I am replacing by dq by dt. So at the place of I am writing dq by dt. So completely what it happens, d square q divided by dt square. Yes, so now this expression we have to write as q by c plus L into d square q by dt square is equal to 0. Okay, so sorry, this is minus, this is equal to 0. So now if I will send this C and L to this side, means L if I'll send to this side, what the equation happens, d square q by dt square, d square q by dt square, and I will send this L and C to that side. So it, okay, so here if I'll send this L to this side, what the equation becomes, d square q minus d square q by dt square plus q into L divided by C equal to 0. Okay, so means if these two quantities are equal in this tank circuit, okay, so we can add to form this tank circuit. We are adding them, we are adding the capacitance capacity and inductance capacity, adding, we are adding it, so it becomes d square q by dt square plus q by L into C is equal to 0. So this equation is similar to one equation, one general equation, d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. This is the general expression of simple harmonic motion. So what is simple harmonic motion? We'll study this. Maybe you have studied this for the first year. Okay, in the PUC first year you have studied this simple harmonic motion. So there also we are considering the oscillations only. So for the simple harmonic motions we have this expression. So this expression of simple harmonic motion is analogous to the expression of LC oscillations. So can we compare these two? Can we compare this? So it is how it is. D square x by dt square is there. D square q by dt square is there. D square q by dt square. Okay. Plus omega square x is there. So here x and x. So here at the place of x what we are having? Q. So keep this q outside. 1 by L into C equal to 0. Same equation, q by L into C, but for your understanding I am separating the terms. Okay, so now compare d square x by dt square, d square q by dt square, x q. So at the place of omega square angular displacement, what we have? 1 by L into C. So what we have? Omega square is equal to 1 divided by L into C. So what we can write this as? What omega equals to then? Omega is equal to square root of 1 by L into C. That is nothing but omega is equal to what? 1 by square root of L into C. Understood? So this is what? Angular displacement, omega. And you already know, I told you while explaining about the phase diagram, maybe phase and phasor diagram, I told you omega is nothing but 2 pi f, the formula of omega I told you. So can you write this omega as 2 pi f 1 by square root of L into C? Yes. So now keeping f this side, keep f at the same side and send 1 by 2 pi to this side. 1 divided by 2 pi into square root of L into C. Yes, so this is the expression for frequency of LC oscillation. This is expression for frequency of LC oscillations. Understood? This is the important thing. Okay, so now in the LC oscillations we have two kinds we have. So what are those? We have damped oscillations and undamped oscillations. Damped oscillations and undamped oscillations. Okay, so what is the meaning of damped oscillations? Here, to understand about these two, damped and undamped, we have the concept of, we should know the concept of amplitude. We should know the concept of what? Amplitude. What is amplitude? If these LC oscillations are traveling like this, you consider. Means like this they are traveling. Okay, so whatever the displacement this wave is making from this equilibrium, so this line you consider it as a equilibrium, means or at the rest state. So from this rest state, whatever the oscillation, whatever the displacement this wave is moving, means the wave is initially here, it goes like this, goes like this, goes and here it comes again, it goes like this, means that is changing its position. The wave is changing its position, yes or no? So it can go also, it can go as, let me see, like this also it can go, like this also it can go. So this is what? Not uniform. So here whatever the displacement this is making na, that is called as amplitude. So this point what it comes, this is maximum point we call it as. So this is maximum amplitude. This is what? Maximum amplitude. Again it comes here, it comes changing its position, and again this is maximum amplitude, zero amplitude, again changing the position like this. Or also you consider in your home, if you have wall clock, there will be a pendulum. So pendulum is moving like this. असं मूव होत असते ना पेंडुलम. So while that pendulum is moving, it goes to this side, again it goes to this side, means the displacement it is doing na, that is called as amplitude. Understood? So damped oscillations means what? The oscillations whose amplitude decreases with time. Damped oscillations means amplitude decreases with time. Means let's consider how will be the damped oscillations. I am telling you, initially they are okay normal, now the oscillations decreases and they goes to rest. Understood? Means the amplitude is decreasing with time and gradually the amplitude dies off. Gradually amplitude came to zero. Such oscillations are called as damped oscillations. And what about the undamped oscillations? The oscillations are having the constant amplitude. Up to the end they are having the constant amplitude, constant, same, no change, like this at up to the end. So such oscillations which are having the constant amplitude are called as undamped oscillations, and the oscillations which are having the decreasing amplitude with time and finally dies off, they are called as the damped oscillation. So today actually I thought to cover about the electrical resonance also, but it's been much time, so I will finish up here. So in the next class I'll study about electrical resonance and the transformers, and I will finish up this chapter. Okay, so try to understand the things carefully, and if you got any doubt you can ask me, no problem in that, as you know it already. Okay, so I'll finish up this class here only. So take care.